Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I've discovered that the reason my physical health is not all it can be is because I've been stubborn and not doing my work with full joy, with no expectation of outcome.
And why have you chosen to do that up to this point? What have you been afraid of, in other words?
Exposure.
Exposure! And what is wrong with allowing people to know who you are?
They come after you.
They do?
They do.
And what does that have to do with what you experience in your life? You want help with that answer? Nothing. It has nothing to do with anything if you choose to see it that way. You understand?
I do.
There will always, for a time, on your world, in the way you experience it, there will always, for a time, be those who will not like what you have to say, who will not allow you to be you. You know why? Because when you are being you as fully as you can,
they come after you.
They do. Exposure! You are a constant reminder to those who are not being themselves that they are not being themselves, and they don't like being reminded of that. You understand?
I do, yes.
But that is the greatest service you can actually provide them, because at least by example you're giving them an opportunity to see through you that they could choose to be more fully themselves even if they don't choose to. By not being yourself, you are removing that opportunity from them. You are only reinforcing their choice to be afraid to be themselves. So at first they may rebel. You're rubbing my nose in what it is I'm too afraid to do, and I resent you for that. And so the idea is that they're coming from a negative state to begin with, and so that's the only way they can see it. But the more you are yourself, the more unconditionally compassionate and loving you will be. And maybe, just maybe, eventually, they will get tired of being such curmudgeons and will actually say, you know, she has something going for her. It's working for her. Maybe it will work for me. And then you have given them an opportunity to make a different choice. But if you withhold that, you're only reinforcing the same fear and saying, it's all right to stay there. I'm there too. Exposure! Every single one of you is a gift. Do not deprive others of the gift of your being.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
So, yes?
Yes.
Sound like fun?
Yes, it does.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to tell you something. That fear of being judged is valid because you're going to be judged because you're surrounded by judges. So it's a valid fear because you're going to be judged. You can't walk through a room that people don't observe you and from their perspective form an opinion and a conclusion relative to you. You are the wrong color for some, you're the wrong religion for some, you wear the wrong clothes for some, you have the wrong color of hair for some. In other words, you're going to be judged, and on and on and on and on it goes. The only way that you could ever really get rid of that experience of being judged, in other words, that action journey of being judged, is if you went and lived in a cave where no one would ever see you. And then you'd worry about the cockroach, or then you'd worry. Then you see the little squirrel, you say, what are you thinking about? So you're going to be judged. It's a fact of living in an environment where other eyes will see you. That is your action journey. But you can be judged and care deeply about it, and you can be judged and not give a rip about it. 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 And the difference between that is the difference between living happily ever after and being tortured, because you can never be the right thing for even most of them. You can't even always please your mother, even when you try really, really hard, because she's fickle. Some days she's connected and some days she's not. And on those days she's not connected, give it up. And there are so many of you who tried so hard to please her anyway and then came away concluding you were a failure because you were incapable of making her feel good. You thought you should be able to. You ways to make something better for someone, that you could suffer enough to make it better for others, and you cannot, you see. You can't get poor enough to help poor people be prosperous, and you can't get sad enough to help sad people get happy, and you can't get perfect enough to help people who want you to be perfect see that you are perfect, because they are fickle. So, you're going to be judged as a fact of living in an environment where other eyes will see you. That is your action journey. But you can be judged and care deeply about it, and you can be judged and not give a rip about it. 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 And the difference between that is the difference between living happily ever after and being tortured, because you can never be the right thing for even most of them. You can't even always please your mother, even when you try really, really hard, because she's fickle. And we don't mean that unkindly. It's just the way it is. Everyone's looking through their eyes from their perspective, and they are thinking what they're thinking, and they are going to evaluate everything they see. They evaluate the sky, they evaluate the roads, they evaluate everything. It's part of the deciphering process. It's part of the preferring process. It's part of the concluding, molding of the clay process. They're not wrong in doing that. It's natural. Everyone does it. You look around, you conclude, you prefer. It's part of life. It's the action journey. It's okay. It's the way that it is. I can hate it or I can love it. I can embrace it or I can push against it. Living conditional love is really tiring. Conditional love says, I want to feel good, but I can only feel good under these conditions. Unconditional love is freeing. In fact, it's the only place where freedom is. Unconditional love says, I can feel good no matter what the conditions. Not give a rip about it. I have power of focus. Not give a rip about it. 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 Not give a rip